Hi everybody! It is Thursday night at 6:05 Eastern Standard Time. We were running just a little bit late, and we've got some technical things we're trying to add for this evening because we have a special guest. And when I say special, there are multiple ways that I mean that. It is definitely special to have our buddy, Mr. Adam himself. Look at him. He's like.
Hello.
Showing off the t-shirt there. Everybody say hello to Adam. See, he puts his mug in the other hand so you can get that Speargrass Orders logo right there.
That's it. You know, these episodes, I'm saying myself away from something. I'm tricking everyone. I'm in the chat. I've been in the chat before.
Yeah.
Thank you, ladies. Hey, everyone. You can actually hear my voice now.
I'm checking real quick. Randy says he's going to be going into surgery again sometime. Don't know when. Should be simple. Remove the screw from my knee. All right, brother. We'll be praying for that for sure. For a speedy recovery.
Ellie, this is the down you do surgery tomorrow, so you ask for praying for the all best wishes.
Yeah. Definitely.
So, there's probably going to be a small amount of echo just because of the way we have it set up. Hi, everybody. It's Eli, by the way. I can't be on due to the fact that running Skype is taking up, it took up the camera space. So, actually, I just thought of something.
That's what we like when we think of something.
I
just see you come up on Skype.
Am I up on Skype?
You're up on his Skype. There.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but on the screen, I look a little tiny picture box. So I'm here, just really tiny.
Mini Eli.
Yeah. So that's about as good as you guys are going to get to see me tonight. Fletcher Powell, that's one of the guys I work with. What's happening, buddy?
Hi, Fletcher. Good to have you, man.
But yeah, so there will probably be a small amount of echo because there has to be a speaker in the shop for Dad to be able to hear Adam talking to us. And that speaker is really close to my microphone, so there may be a little bit of delay. I'll try and work that as best I can to get that out of there. But just bear with us. This is the first time. We've been working on this since what, 4:30?
Yeah, pretty much.
So,
New stuff is always a lot of fun, but I'm just glad, like I said, I told Adam, I'm so glad I have Eli to be able to figure that stuff out. If it had been just me and Adam, it would have probably been my iPad or cell phone or something like that, and like super zoomed on my stupid face. The sound's probably been worse and stuff like that. So you're at least better off having Eli in charge of all that than you are me. So.
Can you hear him? Adam?
Yeah, I can hear. I was going to say, the suggestion to make later on is he's like a Bluetooth speaker or something like that, and then run it through the, I don't know. I'm not technically advanced. I'm just a blacksmith.
Yeah. Well, we talked about doing like some Bluetooth headphones for me so that I can hear. I love that. Like when your cup disappeared there for a second. It's fun. I see everybody in there. Neil, Fletcher, Evan. Ed from Mule Kick, Jordan Bighorn, good to see you, man. Kind of missing everybody else that's in there. Kelly, Randy, Gordon. Great to see everybody. Is there any subtitles to understand Adam? Wow.
That's the reason that you guys speak American. Gordon and the guys in the UK speak English. I speak neither. I speak Australian.
Right.
S-T-R-A-Y-N, straight.
Yeah. And, you know, it's funny, you know, you think about the different places we're all from, and, you know, even Gordon, you go to different places in England, and you can kind of tell where people are from, even in England and Great Britain. Based on that, you know, like you hear Dan Smith, you know, he says thank you. Stuff like that, you know, that's I'm pretty sure there's a TH there, so, you know, we want to start throwing Chad's around, let's know. So we're going to continue to work on the gate project, but we're also going to do some chatting with Adam and with the rest of you guys. If there's something you guys want to talk about, we'll definitely get into a chat if you want to. We have our, however, again, quite about words again, so we have our guillotine tool that just came in. We ordered it off of eBay. It was $127, and it is. Are we able to see that over here?
Yes.
Yeah, it's actually convertible, so it has 3/4 and 1/2 inch dies that came with it. And I was busy kind of putting together a jig here before we started, but it's a bolt together setup, and you can tell it's got 3/4 and 1/2 inch that you can do. So this is a 1/2 inch piece. There's a 1/4 inch piece that goes in as a spacer. And it came with 6 dies, 6 sets of dies. 2 full ring dies and 4 flat dies. And the cool thing about it is for $127 with 6 sets of dies, we thought that was a pretty good price. I mean, like I said, it's bolt together. So what I'm doing is I'm making jigs where we can slide it in and out at the anvil and hardy, or over at the vise, or over at the small anvil. And so hopefully that'll work out for us. And so in the process, I made a set of butchering dies out of one of those lengths. So we've got butchering dies. Obviously, just about all you do is cut a 45, kind of ease the edges a little bit. So there you go. So we'll drop those back down in there. So I'm kind of excited to have the guillotine tool. I know some of you guys, Adam, I think you've got a guillotine tool as well. What's some of the things that you like about it, or something maybe you've changed about your particular one?
I actually got my guillotine tool I've got is kind of self-made. I got some C sections cut and tried to weld them together and put a shaker on the bottom. And so it's not spectacular. If I was going to redo it, I'd probably Sandtown makes a really nice one that I was looking at myself, because the one I made up is it's just loose. It's very slacky. I've got no way to unlike that obviously if I can get kind of tighten it up and stuff like that. I've got no way to adjust what I've put together, and it's a little bit slacky. So it just comes down to and those I see one where you can adjust the one Dan Moss did the other day. It's another good example. You can adjust the slides up and down so they line up better. I have no way to do that in mine. So so it's basically when I use something at the moment, I'm kind of using a throwaway spring puller that I just made out of mild steel.
Okay.
But I really have to put my new brand at some stage very soon. I'm getting more and more job for kind of.
Yeah. I noticed when I started to put the butcher dies together that there is a little bit of slop, there's a little bit of blade in it. So I don't know, whether being something as simple as taking it apart and maybe grinding those spacers just a bit, kind of take some of that slop out, might help a little bit. But I mean, it's a little bit, it's not much. But we haven't actually used it yet. We're ready to use it for the very first time. And we actually started on an unboxing video for it because I wanted to do an unboxing video for it before I used it, but now I'm going to use it. So you're ready for that? Yeah, Kelly says he has the same one. Go ahead.
I think I'm also fortunate in a certain sense that there's some jobs that you can guillotine floor that I can use my forge press for. So that forge press I make out of the 5-ton box splitter.
Right.
I've got certain dies that I can use to do some jobs like shouldering and stuff like that. In that, it's just you have a lot more control with the guillotine than what you do with the press. So.
Okay. And I was going to ask you, because you used an electric ball splitter for that, kind of reconfigured it. And are you getting much deflection out of it?
No, so I get a little bit, probably about maybe. I get about 3 mil, which I think is about 8 inch. So it's not really that much because of the way I've designed it. So it sits over the split part at the end. However, when I designed it, when I built it, I designed it in order to be interchangeable because I still need the split wood here to make my charcoal. So I had to make that one so that I could still pull the pieces off and use it as a log splitter and then put it back all together. So I already knew there was going to be some slop. However, when I get out to the new block and I build my permanent workshop, I'm going to be building another. Either I'm either going to make that one permanent or I'm going to be building another press out of maybe a vertical log splitter.
Dedicated 40 press. A dedicated 40 press, what do you think?
Yeah, so once I build a dedicated 40 press, I'll be able to account for that slop and hopefully engineer it out if I don't know. I have a habit of engineering things, so I might not engineer that. So,
well, let me check on the piece here, see if we've got enough heat to do one of our.
On the voice last one, my guillotine floor is a bit too much. I've got a good I too much slump in my guillotine floor. I feel bad. Very quiet, do you like it?
Oh no, I'm trying to figure out how to get this where he's hitting the camera or he's hitting the piece, it hits into the audio. So I'm trying to down the audio up so I can not have to hear the hammer smacks and then let you talk. I would not want to be my producer. Are you catching the audio from the stream, or are you listening to the audio catching from the top camera?
Me, I'm listening to audio from the Skype. I have my audio on the stream, so it doesn't cause extra echo.
Yeah, that is the huge struggle I'm trying to figure out right now is not getting echo, so letting everybody be heard and not being drowned out.
Well, that's why I kind of said the chat before that came up on the thing anyway. Yeah, you've got the audio running through Troy's lavalier mic, as your audio is also Skype call.
Yeah, so his lapel mic is using for the audio for the streaming software. The microphone on the webcam he's on right now is the one you're actually hearing us through.
Okay, so everyone else out there is hearing Troy through the lab mic, I'm hearing okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that understands. That's correct.
Yeah. Your Skype sound comes from the actual camera that you're seeing on.
So Skype and Streamlabs OBS, the streaming software we use, will not let a device be used by two different softwares. So if one of the cameras is being used by Skype, OBS will not allow it to be used.
Yeah.
So I got to figure out how to get that set up for the next time we do this. Make everything a lot easier, nicer, and better.
Yeah, and let me just say from the get-go here, I really appreciate Adam being our first guinea pig in this.
Yes.
Yeah. he has he's been very gracious to jump in, and so we want to do it often. We want to have guests in, and I thought, well, you know, it's really kind of difficult to choose from all you guys that are out there to think about who would jump in. And I know Adam has done this through some other streams, and Yam has and some others. So it's definitely definitely a new thing. It's something that Neil, take care, man. Thanks for jumping in. Appreciate it very, very much. Anyway, but we do want to do some more guests to jump in on the stream, and so Adam was our first pick. How about that?
Yeah, I'll make it look anything. I'm looking easy for it. Now, I know I'm getting called wing nut anyway. Everyone would have seen it. You know, my East Coast thing out there. It's New South Wales. Hello, everyone that's joining the chat. Good to see you all here.
So the other thing we're going to be doing is, last week we kind of struggled with our twist in these big areas here. So I figured we get the big long heat to be able to do that twist. I don't know, I need a big twisting wrench.
Of those what I call shooters, you guys call them present wrenches or adjustable wrenches. Get two of them, that way it'll hook them up either side.
Yeah.
Get that counter torque on it so you're not doing that bending thing.
Did you get that?
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of keeps you out of the danger zone, so to speak.
Yeah. Another thing you can do as well is particularly obviously you pick it up that whole end. If that glass, say, inch or so isn't being twisted, right, you can actually put that end into the device and you've got a longer cord that hold on to as well.
Oh, yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Flip it, what he had.
Yeah, cool end up here puts it in. But yeah, we got pretty close there.
Yeah, because like you put it in the device to straighten it up. So sometimes when doing that, you can mar your twists as well because the jaws aren't really.
I noticed that John Switzer, when he did that, when he demonstrates that, when he ever straightens in the vise, he always puts it on the vise, and he says that keeps from marring the twist very much.
Yeah.
So instead of putting it in square, put it in on the diamond or on the diagonal, and it keeps it. But yeah, I definitely want to avoid that, that's for sure.
Yeah. Another thing is that if you can get some copper, make some copper jaws,
Soft jaws.
as well, because they can help or lead sheeting is one of the reasons a little bit less environmentally friendly. Aluminium can do it as well, aluminum, as you guys call it. It's JT here, he tries to get me to say that word all the time. Me, of course, being Australian, but you know, with the European, we say aluminium.
Right. Yeah. Or when we say the thing that cools the engine on a car, radiator. Here, you say. Do you guys say radiator as well?
Yeah, we say radiator. But see, what's different is what the lid of the front of the car, we call it a bonnet. We call it a bonnet.
Right.
And the back, what's at the back of the car?
the trunk or the boot.
Exactly.
Birds are fun.
Yeah.
Just a little bit more to do here. Get that one.
Am I not speaking up loud enough, people?
I don't know if it's just if it's the total of the stream or if it's longer what the deal is. I don't know if I actually have like a way to turn up the volume of the streamer.
Now that you're back, yeah, that's my accent.
What do you say?
So people are backing up with the accent.
You have an accent?
Apparently. I don't know what you call it. Trying to turn up my volume a bit. See if it picks up. Funny thing, I'm actually recovering from a motor injury. Last Saturday just gone, it would have been Friday, for Saturday night, so it would have been Saturday morning maybe for you guys. I was actually at a Muay Thai fight night here in the Northern Territory because my club is one of the my martial arts club is one of the main Muay Thai clubs here, and I went along to support a couple of the students that I trained in Kung Fu, and they stepped over to Muay Thai like I have in the past, and they were having some of their first fights. So I actually went there and I supported them, and I spread myself for, so it's taken me the last 5 days to get most of my voice back. And I'm working a call center, so I was being really
Okay, so there's a couple things in there that many people probably missed in that conversation. Number one, Muay Thai and Kung Fu, like, you train and fight?
Okay, yeah, so I don't fight anymore. However, the last 3 years, 4 years, I've been, for most of my life, I've studied some sort of martial art, on and off, and that's been Kung Fu. The last 3 years, I've also been training Muay Thai as well, or Thai kickboxing, and I've had a couple, I've had 3 fights, but I don't really like, I like the fighting aspect of it, but I don't like to fight, if you understand what I'm saying.
No, yeah.
I don't get into the ring anymore. I think I might train for one more fight, just to see how far I've advanced in the Muay Thai. But you know, so yes, I still attempt to do something I do basically twice a week in order to keep myself fit. I prefer functional fitness than going to a gym and lifting weights. So you know, Muay Thai and Kung Fu is functional fitness for me. I also do Hema, which is historical European martial arts, where I learn how to do swing swords and battle axes and all, and paintings and weapons and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and, you know, I'm always amazed at the diversity among the people in the community. You know, when I was talking to Adam the other day on the phone, you know, all the different things he's experienced and done and gone through, and I know so many of the other guys that have, you know, so many different things. You know, Bob, you used to be in law enforcement. Some of these other guys, you know, in the military. You know, so many different things, and so many experiences, so many have been through. It's just amazing to watch the diversity, and then you're a real blacksmith. Somehow that's all bringing us to this point, right? Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, so, yeah, no, it definitely does. I mean, kind of, so I think my blacksmithing journey started when I was about 15, because I was homeschooled, and so, well, from my high school anyway, so I didn't have access to what a lot of people around the world do. You know, you get the shop classes, you get work classes and stuff like that. So I didn't have that. So my father actually worked with a master in one named Reg. Reg, I can't remember his last name, unfortunately, but he used to work with my father on the mines. And so, you know, once every fortnight, because my father was week on, week off, So, you know, for a couple of days of the fortnight, Redwood 2 weeks, we call it a fortnight. Redwood actually come out. Yeah, so Redwood actually come out and do some smithing with me and started teaching me. I did that for about a year. That was where I started. Of course, life got in the way, and the end of high school got in the way. And yeah, so I had to finish that, and then I went off and studied some law and lived in the city, and things went by the wayside. So I've been able to move back out to the rural area, or actually sort my life out a bit. I've been able to get back into blacksmithing. So, you know, I envy guys like Eli and like Alex Hanneman and young fellas where, you know, you have that passion, you have the ability to do it straight out of the block, you know, whereas I've had to find this again and burn my way into it because I've had to, you know, move and organise my life around things that I want to do, whereas, you know, guys like yourself have and even you, Troy, you know, you had to work into this as well, whereas young fellas like Eli had that opportunity to start out on the block, you know, and learn a whole thing to start that. You know, we headway now, we had to start it back then, you know?
Yeah. No, I definitely think I'm not taking advantage of that, but just definitely is, you know, like we always say, it's a blessing to be back here. Like when we started back here, Dad cleaned out an old hog barn, turned it into a forge, and now we spend most of our free time, if not all of our free time, back in this area. So yeah, it's an absolute blessing for sure.
And you know, to have Eli back here with me, and not the thing I think that has blessed me the most in it is that that he actually, you don't want it to be, well, he's doing it because Dad's doing it, but it's nice. But when there was a day that I remember very specifically. Actually, I think the day that was for sure set it for me is Michelle called and said, "Hey, there's a package here at the front door. What'd you order?" And I was like, "I didn't order anything. No, that's not me. Not this time, at least." And so she just kept on and on and on about this. And she's like, "It's heavy. It's a heavy package." And honey, I don't know. So she gets it in the house, and all of a sudden, I was like, I'll call Eli. So I get a hold of Eli, and he ordered the Achio anvil. We actually went ahead and ordered. I thought, okay, he went out and bought an anvil. I think he's in. I think he's had. So that for me was kind of that indicator. Okay, this isn't just doing Dad's thing. It's doing something with Dad that he enjoys, and that's been a major blessing to me.
Well, I mean, I can talk from experience. Like, with my father and I, our family home, which is a couple hundred kilometres out bush, unfortunately, it's got burnt down a few years ago, but some of my best memories growing up was building that house with my father. You know, and it wasn't just, you know, because Dad was doing it, it was a necessity, but it was also I enjoyed doing because I was learning something. I was learning a skill that, you know, I mean, you guys won't be able to say that, but I mean, not very many people can say I built a house with my father from scratch, you know, by hand, the old-fashioned way where you had to, like, we mixed the concrete by hand. We went, the house was a stone house, so we went, you know, made the frame, we laid the stone and did everything the old-fashioned way by hand. Even down to digging out the septic. You know, we got down and dug the hole for the septic by hand, no drill, no power. I was thinking of it back. I from dirt like
I was feeling quite well living on a farm with them.
Well, let me just say, having Eli now being a larger individual does have its advantages.
Yeah. At work, I've actually nicknamed the forklift. When the forklift is being used.
So, answer Gordon's question. Gordon, my schedule at the moment is a little bit all over the shop, simply because I'm building a house, and hopefully we're building my new forge relatively soon. So the deal with that is I try to put out videos as semi-regularly as possible. I'm still trying to keep my Thursday release schedule, but simply because my time is now split between three places, being my forge, the house build, and work. The forge is kind of, as much as it pains me, I'm trying to get out there as much as possible. It's kind of slipped into third place, so it's the lowest priority at the moment, simply because I'm now, we've only just got to, it's just been able to keep my team in, really pretty much 500 solid frame. And they just finally put the roofing up for the house. So now it's down to rendering and doing all the inside, so I don't have to be out there as much anymore. So hopefully I can do more time in my forward to get things back up and running there with the current voice up. So when you're getting along the live stream probably will be there. Yeah, last year of course I did do the Fortune on Christmas Day with Speedgrass. So that might be another thing for those of you that don't have families to hang out with. But yeah, so that's the only one I can say with some sort of relative set that I will be doing one there. But other than that, yeah, it's one of those things where it's just like it will be what's coming out in the next couple of months, up until probably February-ish is when the outlook is going to be finished in February, and that's when we move. So probably from that point on, I'll be able to get a regular schedule and do updates. And actually, you guys, from that point, that will be where I start to actually do my new workshop. So you guys will be able to follow me through with all that. I'll do updates on that. But yeah, so it's going to be a big piecemeal until about.
Yeah. Well, we understand. I mean, you got to have priorities. And, one of those phrases that Eli will probably already know the one I'm coming to. We used to say a lot. I used to tell kids a lot. Is we do the things we have to do to get to the things we want to do.
Yep, and I use that exact same phrase. Do the things you got to do to get the thing you want to do. But also, there's another part. I say needs first.
Yeah.
So what needs that need to come first to get to the wants that come second things first.
Say hi real quick to a couple people I saw jump in there. Chris, White North, and who else? I saw Wayne Heights. Got to see him in there.
Pollard jumped in.
Pollard was in there.
Yeah. Randy, call him Randy. Randy Hughes, Evan Onwood, Jurgen jumped in. Yeah, if you have just jumped in, we are attempting the special guest stream first ever with our special guest. There's been a lot of technical struggles in the past, 3 hours now for myself, so it seems to be working okay. It sounds like a couple people said it was a little bit hard to hear, so I might have to dig in and try to figure out what's going on with that. What's that?
I said I'm trying to speak up so everyone can hear you. You did that on purpose.
No, I did not, unfortunately. It worked out good, but no.
Hey?
We didn't have time to, as some have asked for, we didn't have time to get subtitles in. So, sorry.
We'll get the little box down below that's got the translation. Now that you like governor speaks and stuff like that, we'll get a translator up in the top right box. We'll get that for us Americans.
Yeah, well, it's really funny. I know you guys leave these up, but sometimes it has the auto captions and CCs. It's going to be, the CC is going to have such a hard time picking up the different accents.
Yeah, absolutely.
Struggling to find whatever our accent is considered with slightly. Did I tell you? Okay, I have to tell you the story. So I lived in Kentucky for 9 years. Yeah, just moved back from Kentucky after a 9-year full stint of being there, and apparently picked up a small little Eastern Kentucky kind of hick accent. And the other day, I was helping a customer at work, and I asked my boss over the phone, where the lighters at? But I said it with a little bit more of an accent, so I said, where the lighters at? And he said, And I said, no, I'm looking for lighters. He said, but on the phone you said ladders. I went, oh crap. I've been in Kentucky for too long.
We said that we're two lighters.
Lighters. Yeah, the closed captain will have a heyday with this.
So I'm noticing with the guillotine tool there that slop is a little bit noticeable with those. I know you need some a little bit, but I think we are going to have to make some adjustments with it. Maybe grind those spacers down just a little bit, because the bottom of it and the top of it are kind of missing each other. So it's getting a little difficult, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I know right now I'm using it one time. We're probably going to have to make some adjustments in the thickness. So it's one thing to say, well, this thing's a ½ inch, that's a ¼ inch, and then you paint everything. It can make a difference. It can make enough of a difference to be noticeable.
Yeah, definitely. Even when it's painted, because I mean, think about it this way: 1 millimeter or 1.5 millimeters of paint equals 3 mil. So what's that? 1/16 of paint. You know, on two sides that equals 8. So that's a fairly decent.
Slop.
You know, so it's kind of that fair decent precision drawing.
Yeah. So, when it's all said and done, the square monkey tool that I'm going to fabricate here this next week will take care of the shoulders, but there is enough of a difference in there that it's noticeable. Yeah, it's still better than the gate puller, I will say that.
So let's ask. I'm going to ask you, Troy. Have you got your entry into
The family tree? No, I have not. Adam actually kind of halfway called me out on that before the stream as we were chatting, and he's like, "So have you done it?" And I was like, "No, I haven't." And here's part of the reason why, and I told him, we have a sale and show demo this weekend, and we had a bunch of them canceled over the years, so we really didn't put a bunch of inventory together over the summer because we were also very busy. So we've been 3 weeks of kind of frantically putting things together and making items. Like Eli made
54 icicles.
54 icicles and
16 candy canes. Reduced my goods.
yeah.
Last 2 days. Well,
Okay, so that's what Elon makes a little bit, Troy.
Well, this morning I made.
That's his excuse not doing the link.
Yeah. I made, like, for example, this morning I made 6 towel holders and some toilet paper holders and a couple other things. Yesterday we cranked out a whole bunch of other items. I mean, I think there's 60 S-hooks back there on the table ready to go. I made a couple dozen wall hooks of different kinds. So, yeah. And on top of all that, I still have ministry to try to attend to. So, which, by the way, man. So that to answer that, no, I have not yet.
I attempted it.
Yeah, I started on
I think
it.
it's over there. If you want to grab my little.
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eli's gonna go out and forge by himself and watch everything.
You want the big one?
Yeah, the big one. That was the one where I attempted a full little piece of plastock leaf. It's not terrible until I left it in the fire a little too long. You can see that. Yeah. Yep. Right there looks like a bug started. Which, hey, that might be a thing. Bugs started taking fire.
Yeah.
Something
Caterpillar got to it.
Artistic.
Yeah, artistic. There you go.
Yeah.
Artistic. It's like Bob Ross with blacksmithing.
Now, I-
happy mistake.
Now, I have made several leaves over the past couple weeks. I mean, lots of items with leaves on it. Let me go grab one of those items.
Need to hit that back up with Eli and Hot Last Week.
Yeah. Yeah, I still might be able to salvage a little bit out of it, kind of save it up for grasping, like you said.
Yeah. So like today,
I made this paper towel holder, towel rack, and it's got a leaf on it with a leaf on the other end to hold that. So, I'm making things with leaves on it,
and then the other day I found I had a ladle blank around here. I thought, well, I'll make a ladle.
and so I made a ladle with kind of the binding texture on it, put the leaf on it, and brassed it up. And then I did a leaf on the back side of it, and to attach the ladle to, and then riveted it on. That come through okay? You like?
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah, I mean,
I'm still making stuff with leaves
on it. I just
haven't made a leaf.
Bullshit was blood.
Like, you make leave, you have to cut one off in order to,
Correct. There you go.
The other thing we were talking about, Ohio is called the Buckeye State. And so I thought, well, if we do one here by Run Forge, we have Buckeye trees here on the farm, a few of them. But the Buckeye leaf, you know what a Buckeye is?
No idea.
Well, we just say it's a worthless nut. You can't eat it, you can't really do anything with it, but it's a black, after it comes out of the shell, it's a black nut with a brown spot on it. About the size of a walnut inside. Yeah, a little smaller than a walnut. But anyway, the leaf on a Buckeye tree is five leaves, which looks very similar to another long-leafed, five-leaf plant.
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah. So we kind of hesitated about doing the whole Buckeye leaf thing. I think maybe I'm gonna figure out how to make a Buckeye and actually attach the nut to the leaf. That might be more. And I thought, dummy, just make a leaf, just do it and turn it in,
Well, it's basically when you go, there have been other blacksmiths that have inquired about making certain, probably that way. Like talking on a made a Kinko leaf, but other blacksmiths have inquired about making others leaves. So, like if it looks distinct enough, I guess, but it's actually you have a picture in Australia called a cocker or a cockheader. They're basically, it's just a brown, useless nothing kind of eat or anything like that. But people actually turn them into you can turn them into rattles and all sorts of things, make stuff out of it. So that's probably about one size-ish, maybe acorn size, but they're round and glossy and they all that type of stuff. And fleece and kids.
Now, one of the things that we do
In Ohio is because we are the Buckeye State that we make a candy Buckeye, and they're actually pretty good. The candy Buckeye is peanut butter and chocolate.
Yeah. So it's kind of a little ball of peanut butter, little dough ball of peanut butter, and dipped in chocolate, but you leave that little hole on the top. It looks like a Buckeye. So around here, Buckeyes are kind of a big thing, but most people think of Buckeyes as either the football team or the candy.
Yeah. I've had those peanut butter, it's called peanut butter balls.
Yeah.
It comes a peanut butter ball, but I've had those before.
We had to make a fancy because, we're in Ohio and everything.
Right.
Gotta make it our own.
That's one thing I'll have to put on my list when I come over to the state. Try each state's delicacy, like that in Texas, right? You know, something that Texas is the one thing Texas is known for. I don't know I'm not American. I don't know what you guys are specialising in. You know, try those things like go through different states. You know, obviously when I come to Ohio, I'm going to try buckeye. I've got to try Ohio buckeyes.
Yes.
Yes.
And Skyline Chili.
Skyline chili.
That's another one you'll have to
Skyline chili. For sure.
You guys use salted peanut butter or sweet peanut butter?
Sweet.
Okay, let's go nutrition. Let's try peanut butter.
Hey, I don't want to hear it. If you've ever intentionally Vegemite, you can't say anything.
We had
I haven't eaten it. I like it.
On purpose.
I just don't eat it the way okay, so it's a common misconception, right? And it happens, and I'm sure you watch it happen all the time. People American YouTubers are like dry Vegemite. And it's here like Nutella, right? You get a big thing, you put it on like half an inch stick on the bread. And you can't eat it like that. It's like a fingernail work on toast, and it's gonna be like the toast is gonna be smashed in butter, and then you use a fingernail work over the entire piece of toast. You can't eat it like Nutella, it's too salty.
Now, Eli, I see a couple people are saying they're having a hard time understanding or hearing. I don't know whether that's just because we have an Aussie on here, but
Now, I've got him cranked all the way up.
Okay.
I've got the stream all the way up. I don't know if it's something on
Right.
the YouTube end.
Can you? I was like, Eli, could you change my input? With inputs coming through, can you change it to audio through the stream? Put it into different way, change the input instead of having it come out as being go through the whole OBS.
See if I can pull that up.
Randy said you'll get these and these hearing aids. That could be possible. Could be possible.
Probably gonna have to figure out a different way to do. So as of right now, what is pulling you onto a stream is basically a screen capture from the computer, and it's just pulling the video and audio directly from like a Skype call. And for some reason, it's not letting me bring it in as like a source by itself to bring in audio. Like it comes out as one like single package from the Skype. So I'll have to look into that and see if there's a better way to run that.
By the way, just so to kind of get an update where we are on the gate project, we're going to continue to do that. But we've got 4 of the 7 rails already twisted and got top tenon done. So now that I have those top tenons done, twists done, I know exactly how far I can go down
To make this measurement,
get this tenon in, and then I can start the assembly process. So chances are what we're going to do next week, with it being Thanksgiving, is we're going to do a premiere. Now, one of the things Eli and I talked about was that we were going to do a premiere because we're only going to go about an hour. We're probably only going to do an hour long, and we're talking about going at 7. And I know for people like Chris, that helps out, even though we normally go at 6. So we'll probably have that premiere scheduled for 7 o'clock next Thursday. That way everybody can kind of enjoy the Thanksgiving thing, and they can also watch if they want to, and then join in. We'll be able to come in on the chat at 7 o'clock. So.
Sorry, I was just standing up and making sure you guys.
At least you didn't have a cramp like I did last week. Did you?
No, yeah, if might look like I'm using wood, but that's just the background. I'm currently sitting away at my house. I've got the wood background, so you guys don't see the messes behind. That's just my back of my left wall, but you know, it's just I've got the background out, so it looks like I'm out my house.
Yeah, I kind of figured that because I was like, nothing is moving in the background, and then there's this, where your headphone is, there's this tiny little gap where I can see like a different color, and I'm like, he's actually just using the background, isn't he? Hey, whatever works.
Yeah, I mean,
it's movie magic.
yeah. It's like, wow, that's a really.
Yeah.
I said, man, that's a really clear picture of his shop. That's great.
If you look right over this, it's his shoulder. If you look right over this shoulder, right, you can see it's actually a picture from when I was making the sacks. I feel like this, you can see the sacks still in the plant. And just to give you an update on that sack, it actually has gone to the guy that it was made for, and he absolutely adores it. Every time he's actually a gaming streamer, he does virtual reality in flight, and he's training in flight, and he does online streaming for PUBG and Call of Duty and stuff like that. But he's been a friend of mine for a long time, and when he received it, he was basically showing it off to anyone that would stop it just for 5 minutes. So that's awesome. Sweet.
That's really cool.
So just to let everyone know in the chat though, I'm watching, I can see Eli live, but I'm lagging behind when it comes to watching Troy, because I'm watching Troy stream. We're doing the full I watched Troy live, and it was issues with the video and stuff like that, so I'm behind watching what's going on. Taking my cues from Troy audibly, so everything when he talks, I can respond, but I don't know that he's walked away to actually talking and stuff like that. So we need to hammer happen. I don't know if that until I need to have a stop happening. You really need to make a shake that thing and put it in your animal there.
Yeah.
And Troy was just loving us what I missed you just a moment ago, and you work it up here.
Yeah.
You say what?
Yeah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that anymore. This was, this afternoon, like crap. I got to get this thing put together, and that was the quickest one for me. So.
Yeah, he was welding that as I was working on the camera and having a technical breakdown over here.
What's the size of the audio?
Inch and a quarter, actually.
Can you get each quarter stop?
Yeah. I'm going to. Yeah.
Because if you tape it, then you'll need to do a little bit of spinning on it too, or the tape right fit the hardy hole. But if it's just straight, then into the quarter straight through, it needs to stop that big, cut it off, and that way you've got a shape for a pretty base.
Yep.
That's one thing I lament about timing is that my hardy hole is an odd size and it's not square.
Yeah, this one's okay. It's kind of ragged out a little bit, but it's okay. And then we want to be able to take it with us to demos and things like that. And the Chayo angle, I think it's got, what is it, like a three-quarter inch?
Yeah.
Party.
Yeah.
So
perfectly fits a railroad spike.
Yeah, the railroad spike pretty decent in there. So we'll be making another plate parties with that, so that we can just put it in there and cinch it down to that, be able to move it to the different places. But no, I don't want to do this over here very often at all.
Here, keep it on microphone. Right up here, guys.
So Eli, have you started making your own tools at the jail yet? Making that your hot cut and your hot cut hardy and all that type of thing? Or you've got a board so you don't need a thing, but have you started making your own cut-off tools and stuff like that?
No, there is an old hardy cutter that we had grinding on to try to fit it, but it was a lot bigger, so just gotta calm that down and get it to the right size for that. I had a ritual hold for our hold fast, ritual hold fast that was dad made for his animal, and didn't necessarily work out the best, so we chopped it down and put it in to fit mine better. So that's about as far as I've gotten with it. Up until recently, I haven't really had a whole lot of time to get in here and start working on stuff like that. But now that everything over with the farm and life in general is just kind of calmed down, that's kind of my next goal. Working on that kind of stuff.
Fair enough. That works.
Yep. And you know, like my video series one says, falling on a budget.
See, you gotta get it. We're all like playing a friendly or video series there, right? You know, it's like we trust fully down to what is you know, now we're like all beyond input. You know, we're all like we're like
The stuff is all ready to go. I just have to get it together and start the fabrication of it. But everything that I need for my own portable forge is already sitting right behind me. Just once everything kind of clears up after this weekend, that's my next project. Hopefully within a week or so happens. So.
I've actually that's a project I'll be having in the future as well. With this new forge, with this new workshop, I will have to build a new forge. I mean, I'm always going to have a soft spot for the third box, but considering I'll be permanent, I'm going to have to figure out how to build myself a permanent forge. So luckily, I've got actually no one has seen this yet. No one.
Yeah, show it off.
Livestream for people.
Yeah, watch him reach through the wall and grab out a plan there.
Well, I've got the art of blacksmithing, and I'm actually trying to find the toad. I call it the toad, and everyone else has seen it. Actually, there it is. Okay, I'm going to reach up the other side again. So this is my copy of the toad, and practical blacksmithing. So this is not. This is probably one of the oldest books for blacksmithing compiled in, I should say, 1889, 1890, and 1891.
Cool.
So this is over 120 years old.
Yeah.
The original volumes were. So this comes from a time when blacksmithing was still a mainstream. A modern techno is the mainstream. So you know. Yeah. You know, that's and that actually has played into like influences and stuff like that. So that's that. But as you can see, it's a really big book. That's why I call it tone.
Yummies!
Hey.
I'm a little scared by something that
Adam said a little bit ago.
What's that?
He said, we trust Troy.
You've heard the community trust.
Oh.
You guys said.
Wow.
You know, as in you become trustworthy that you are a part of the community and contribute to the community. Of course, Eli's contributes as well, but you know, you've got to get involved more out there.
Yeah. That was kind of the one thing I couldn't figure out whether or not to do when I first started in on doing that first video that I did, the only video that I've done, is whether or not to do it as part of the same channel or do it as a separate channel on my doing what works best. Do it as the same YouTube or do it as my own thing. Just kind of bouncing between those two.
Actually, Eli, Yarm is the person to talk to about how to set up this live streaming OBS because he does it and does it in his not only his Sunday live streams but his Sunday ones as well. So he'd be a really good one to discuss how to set it all up. If you're feeling generous with your time and sharing with them.
Yeah, and Yamas, if you would like to jump in and at some point get in contact with me and teach me the masterful ways of live streaming and figuring out Skype stuff, helping. So this doesn't end up this. I would say this is not a train wreck. I mean, at least we got you on it. You're talking. People can somewhat understand it.
As you, like I said, I make a good meeting because I've got the ears for it. I've been a couple of people's TV actually. It's there's kind of a pattern. Yeah, get the Australian out of the way. No one can understand you anyway.
Yeah, if it's going to be doinked up, if it's going to be able to be understandable, might as well have the Australian on, right?
That's it. Yeah. And see, Eli, you've got one thing wrong though. Everyone says that I'm always upside down, so you need to flip my screen somewhere else.
I knew Matthew was coming in. Matt was going to say, yep, there you go. Your arch nemesis just showed up.
I emailed my aunt.
Boom, there you go.
He loves me. I know he loves me.
I know.
He should say, he's the one person that I'm pretty of it.
Is that correct for you now? On the stream? The right way?
Oh, yeah.
Are you the right way up? Now? You see it?
I'm sideways.
Give us a
There you
There we go.
There you go.
Hi, Matt. Good to see you, man. No, I know Matt's not your nemesis, but you guys
love each other enough to shoot barbs at each other. It's a lot of fun.
Matt understands very much the Australian sense of humour that you are. Do you guys ever watch Supernatural?
I watched a couple episodes, but no.
Okay, so the King of Hell in Supernatural is Crowd, and halfway through the seasons or whatever, one thing he says, I torture my friends how I should know. And Australians, Australians kind of like that, you know, we bag out to feed our friends and shoot barbs at each other and how we show affection. And Matt really gets that. It might be a military thing, but Matt really gets that. So, shooting barbs at each other and how we show affection.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I know I kind of come across as the kind of white bread, wholesome, whatever, milk toast kind of guy, but I love digging on, friends, and shooting those barbs at each other as a sign of love and affection, for sure. So if we
you're very wholesome, but it's kind of, we also don't want to insult you.
Hey, I was in law enforcement. I got insulted. It's really hard to insult me.
There's certain language that I will use in that playlist that is very uniquely Australian that you can't say in Canada. And if you know that reference, if you know that Kevin Wilson song, then you'll understand what I mean that way. And it's very comes straight back at you with it. I forgot something wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, in southern Ohio, around the area we live, sarcasm is basically the language that we speak to each other for affection, like you say.
But reminds me of wholesome people, family goodness.
All right, I didn't hear that. I heard Troy reminds me, and then I started swinging the hammer. So.
You remind me of family goodness.
Oh man. Yeah.
Hey, you are a preacher. You have all that time. You have a reputation to maintain.
That is true. That is true. You know,
and having people like me and you are preachers not help that.
No, one of the things, like I went out and hang out with Quad Squad. Great group of guys. Those are my brothers, man. They're special people to me. John Mez and some of these other guys that are in here right now. And it was immediate. Now, the interesting part was, if anybody used a cuss word or a curse word, they would immediately turn around to me and go, sorry. And they would apologize to me. And I'm like, look, I'm not the one to apologize to. I'm just a dude, man. I'm just a guy. And that's how I try to be as a minister, how I try to be as a person. The one thing I really hope to do, and I don't want this to be self-serving, I hope to just, what you see is what you get. And that's the one thing that I hope that I don't put on airs for anybody, really. And I don't ever want to do that. I am who I am pretty much all the time.
I am who I am all the time, except, the old saying, tough like a sailor. There's a reason why they call me pirate, so I try to back a little bit.
I understand it. And you know what? I love the fact that there is a mass amount of respect, no matter the person within our community, that they respect each other so much that no matter where you are in that spectrum, whether it's a talent level or skill level or whatever it is, in your life, they're so respectful of where you are and treat you as a brother, as a friend, as a part of the community. And that's been such an impressive thing about this community.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's a big family.
Yeah. I've never been treated like, oh, well, he's a pastor, he's a preacher, so, we cuss, we don't want to hang out with him. So I love that. I love the fact that they feel comfortable enough and yet have the respect to exchange it.
Yeah. Like I said, it's a big family. I mean, you got weird distant cousins like me sometimes, but
my lovely wife has a shirt, or wants a shirt, that says, I love Jesus, but I cuss with him.
On what?
I thought you had something on your ship that was rugby and
Oh, yeah. I've got my two things right here from my phone. Just in case anything cuts out. I can do that.
How are you adding? To add him in what way?
Now, Skype.
To Skype?
Yeah, up on the bar.
Who's the producer?
I think I'm now. Here, put me on where I can Skype back over.
Okay, down. Your wheel of death over to this way. Yep, down. Down. You got it. Yeah, there's something that, since we're kind of having that conversation, there's something I'm going to share here in just a little bit about that kind of thing that, I'm just kind of doinking around with these tenants that, first time ever using them. He gets into and such, so.
Surprise. Yes. Yaman.
A surprise guest?
Wow.
Oh, I had someone else. There we go.
Hey.
I can do screen too.
You haven't shown up on my cameras, but oh, there you go.
Is that him, Daddy?
Hey, Troy. Hey, Eli. Hey, Adam. Hey, everybody else.
Hey,
Yeah.
man, it's an island event. Look at the background.
Yeah.
Hey, why isn't there a big CNC cutout Island Metal Forge logo in behind you, man?
I gotta build that thing still.
Oh my gosh, that was beautiful. Man, what a blessing that was.
I know. I can't. Is that I'm not seeing Eli's mouth moving, so I'm going to assume that's Troy. Actually, Eli is frozen
Am I?
on my screen. Oh, there he is. No, he's not. He was just holding very still. That's really well.
Sorry.
What is this turning into? I'm not gonna.
What did you say, Adam?
Said that I hold up still very well.
Oh, I trained you how to do that.
No, I have no idea what this is turning into. It was supposed to be
It's a blacksmithing invasion of Troy.
Start adding everything.
I gotta ask though, how do you get the multiple screens? I'm gonna have to get with Eli and Troy at some point because when I had Adam and Clara, it just swapped back and forth depending on who was talking. And I like how you have the ability to have both people up.
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, I don't know what
But you're screen sharing the Skype window is what you're doing. I see that right now. Okay.
Yeah, so basically taking so Streamlab is taking a media source from Skype, and it's just, like you said, screen grabbing it and putting it on there.
Right.
So,
I'd like to say hello to all the viewers, but I don't see anybody else chatting. It's just, us window people.
Well, if I
Well,
see,
theoretically, there's 10 people watching, so, that'd be pretty cool. But, yeah, no, I just realized, hang on, there's 2 pirates. And this is
oh man, it's the pirate stream.
there you go.
The pirates have invaded our stream.
That would be the definition of piracy, wouldn't it?
Yes.
He's affected. Yes.
Don't mind me. I'm just over here blacksmithing.
Or where's that?
I want you too. How long have you been down here, Troy? I think, it's like, you go to 8.
Go to 8, yeah.
Okay. Share the street.
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Copy the link. I'll post it on my channels. Hey, I'll get a channel with us.
That would be great.
Oh,
It looks like Dana just recently left. Rob's still here. If you guys are still here and watching, please just jump in on the chat and say still here, just so we know that you're here. So it's not just the 4 of us sitting here yapping at each other.
yeah.
Yeah. Y'all, as we were talking about Quad Squad when we got together at John's, and I just want to go out of my way to say, look at that. Oh
Shameless
my
plugs.
goodness. Shameless plugs all over the place, man. I was talking about how, even being as Rob says, the best preacher blacksmith he knows, only because he knows only one preacher blacksmith, but jumping in to Quad Squad stuff, and you guys and the whole group just took me in and just treated me so wonderfully, and I'm just so blessed to have to be a part of that weekend, doing the bloom and everything, and what an amazing community. Tossing the respect back and forth.
Absolutely. I mean, that's, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
It's getting to know people, finding friends, and finding people with, similar appreciation for the craft. And one thing that I've said for a while now, and this predates the blacksmithing for me, is friends are just strangers that you haven't met.
Ooh,
If you're friendly to everybody, and those people become friends with everybody,
Yeah.
it's easy to beat out the bad ones. So if you're good to everybody, and you don't deserve it, it's easy enough to say, nope, bye. And I've had less of that in blacksmithing than like in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have gotten burned by that philosophy, but still.
I understand that. And just think for just a moment, we're looking at North Carolina to Australia and Ohio, and I've actually physically met you once, and I have not physically met Adam, but yet there is a distinct shared brotherhood community among people who've never met. And it's an amazing thing. Tech, if you're heading out, I just saw you say you're headed out, so good to see you, man. Take care.
For some reason, I can't post anything on YouTube from my phone. So I've got
YouTube has
I've
got
got to
cable
go
on
and
the phone thing.
my.
Yeah, here about 7:30. I'm going to kind of slow down on the blacksmithing thing. Because Adam was talking about some of the stuff he'd gone through or has experienced in life and different parts of life. And I'm kind of going to fill you guys in on some of the stuff that's happened for me that I'm sure you're kind of surprised at. Y'all guys know some of it.
What did I do?
Yeah.
Sorry, I did something that doesn't mean
Yeah. Well, I was talking about some of the stuff that I've done in my life and experienced in my life, and y'all must know some of that.
Yeah.
That
Most people wouldn't anticipate
out of me.
So much suspense in this channel. There's all of a sudden we get comments on the channel, and now Dad's sending a life story. Useless.
So Joy was a secret goal.
Do I?
Yeah.
What do you say?
Joy was a secret goal. God.
A god.
Yeah, big spiky hair.
Yeah, no.
My stepbrother was definitely I don't know necessarily he was goth, he was more in punk rock.
Yeah, he had a mohawk about a foot tall.
Yeah, it was huge. It was like spray painted flame, like it was insane.
That's actually pretty cool. I mean, you think about it, it takes a lot of effort to do that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Like there's somehow he either had like a mold inside of his head, like underneath the hair. I mean, there's no way that would just like gel.
All right. So now I am able to see the chat. If I can. All right. Hey, old wolf.
Yeah. Rob is one of those things, Rob just said it was awkward meeting in person and realizing we hadn't physically met before, but it felt like lifelong friendship as if we grew up together. Oh my gosh, I'm telling you what. Anyway, but that's one of those things, like I went out and saw Hans back in August, and here's a guy I'd never met before, never physically met before, and I drove 8 hours over to his place, got out of the truck, and we just literally couldn't wait to embrace. I mean, when I say that, I don't mean just manly hug, you know, like brothers that hadn't seen each other for a very, very long time, family that hadn't seen each other for a very, very long time. You know, that's an amazing thing, really, to experience.
Oh, yeah.
And I know that's what's so special about things like Quad Squad and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's the same thing with the squad when we all first met. Like, the whole group of us going over to John's place. John doesn't really have guests all that often, if at all. Like,
Yeah, in fact, I think
I don't want to use the word, you know, hermits or shutters or anything, but, you know, like, they just don't host a lot of people. They live their lives, my life.
Yeah.
And, like, we all ascended, you know, geez, freaking, Bob, you know, it's like we were trying to all line up who's going where and who and what, and Bob lives in Richmond area, and I live in, Kirkuk area, and it's like he's on the way without ever meeting face to face other than, you know, YouTube. It was like, you know, like, yeah, Bob, I'm swinging by Richmond, you know, share the ride together.
Right.
You know, it's like, you know,
Psycho.
Jumped in a car for 10 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm lucky to escape from my life. You know, it's like my petite brain and sensitive sensibilities. I'm lucky to escape from my life.
Go ahead, Adam.
Yeah, it's called selectively social.
Yes.
And think that's what I think, and make it kind of makes me feel lonely because at the end of the day, you know, we guys all live in the same country. The closest people we can see. So maybe sad, but I haven't been sad either. So you know.
So
I've got to get that away from the Australian version of what's taken up and running.
So Adam, what is the remote possibility or any possibility that you're coming to the States at any point in time? I mean, do you have any kind of
Very. When it gets here, I'm going to lock them up in my basement. Well, I don't have a basement. I'm going to build a dungeon.
you can't treat him like. Now look, Yamez, you can't treat him like he's a what's the Irish the little Irish dude? The leprechaun. You can't treat him like an Australian leprechaun where you pin him up in your basement.
And with a pot of
Well, I'm getting really good at forging rings and things and stuff, and I know how to mold things for concrete, so it's like I can forge a waist bracket, strap around, hot forge around his waist. The only way you can do it now is if you start with it's already skinny, so I can get it focused. Adam, are you opposed to going with that thing? For my forge?
Yes. So for to actually answer your question, I was basically there in September. Unfortunately, with everything's happened, Australia's still in lockdown. Now, my plan is touch wood. Yes, my head is a hollow log. I will be hopefully able to come over next year, provided A, Australia reopens its borders,
Right.
B, this building this house and workshop doesn't seem to be growing for another year. So, yeah, touch wood. I will be there within hopefully by September next year to be there for Quad State next year.
Oh,
It mainly just hinges on whether Australia reopens its borders.
Right.
Because I can get to the US. Right? Getting to the US isn't the problem. Getting home is the issue.
Yeah, you got to go through me.
Yeah, well, not just that. They've got to let me into the country.
Well, let me just tell you something, buddy. You're going to be if you make it to Quad State, you're going to be about an hour and a half away from here.
and you have a home here, here in Ohio. So just be prepared for that. For
I
sure.
am fully prepared. I'm actually, the whole plan even this year was arriving about 3 weeks before Quad State,
Yeah.
so that I had enough time to go and see everyone, because everyone wants time.
Yeah.
So I had enough time to go and see everyone, and stay and do some forging and spend some time with everyone outside of just Quad State.
Yeah.
So, that the whole point was to, I'm spending about a month there, and it may even be coming up to next year, because that was the plan this year, but coming up to next year, and the fact that I've got more people to see, and there's so much to actually see in the US, and so much I'd like to experience, because I don't know when the next time I can come in.
Right.
There will be, I'm thinking actually taking 6 weeks to do it. And yeah, I think as long as I have enough, I think it's about 6 months left on my passport. By the end of my trip, the US will let me in. I'm going to renew my passport before I come. So I'm pretty sure it doesn't expire until 2023 though, so I should be safe.
So I had an opportunity actually to come to Australia back in the 90s. Here's nerd, again, things you wouldn't anticipate. Maybe you would for me, I don't know. I was a band geek. I played the tuba, sousaphone, tuba, and I got an offer to play. Here in the United States, they have a thing called the drum and bugle corps, which are professional marching bands, essentially. And I got an offer to be in one to travel around the United States, and they were going to do a tour in Australia. Well, I was going into my senior year in high school, and the tour was going to end while when school was going to start. So I actually did the whole summer with them, and then didn't get to go to Australia. And I always kind of regretted not getting that opportunity to come. But I'm really hoping to. That's one of the places that's definitely on my list to go visit one day, for sure.
Well, I don't know if Yamas and the rest of the blacksmiths have told you, but apparently there's a group of blacksmiths that are kind of looking at hijacking a container ship and coming to Australia, because I've set up a blacksmith's refugee camp at my new block. So
I don't quite know if we should bring that up just the reasoning behind the refugee camp.
To see me.
Yes, it's a trip to see you, yes. Oh, and you guys, I've got to say, he gave me a few places to look at, and I did the whole Google Street View drive around his neighborhood and drive around the locale and such, and it being equatorial north, the Northern Territory, and an equatorial, it is about as close to my Caribbean lifestyle as you can get, should we decide to flee, should I decide to move to Australia. Once I've claimed enough and large enough ships to make the trip, my goal, my plan is, okay, so I have kayaks, which I acquired through various forms of piracy, and that's a statement. Side of the road, pick me something off the side of the road that says free, that's piracy, right? So
I would say piracy light.
Yes, pirate light. My plan is to, because how piracy works on the high seas is, you take over a boat and you claim it and, all that fun stuff, and now it's yours. Well, I've got a kayak, and I can paddle pretty fast, so probably the best motorized ship that I can get a hold of would be a party barge, a pontoon boat. So I'm going to take over a pontoon boat, which gives me increased speed, which then I can take over, something a little bit faster and start my fleet, with the flagship party barge, and then a few fast runners, maybe, hijack a few ski-doos, and then move up. You know, ultimate goal, like he said, was to get a container ship. I mean, those are easy enough. You just gotta, you know. But oh no, we're pirating. We're not pirates. We're just pirates.
It just sounds
Can I
like
use your bathroom? Can I come aboard and use your bathroom? All right, this ship is mine.
it sounds like Yamez is working his way towards Waterworld. You remember the movie Waterworld? With the big oil tanker and all the jet skis around.
I've always said Yamez is Blackbeard reincarnated. You can kind of start off with partnership and crew as well.
How do you do it?
So what I was getting, we've kind of shut the forge down, and I'm going to fix those tenons, not fix them, but finish them up later. But one of the things that most people probably, there's some things that people probably don't know or probably don't believe about me, and one of those things is I used to be in law enforcement. I actually used to be a law enforcement officer, and right before, do what?
Yamez got scared.
Yeah, he scared him off. No, I used to be in law enforcement, Yamez. I'm still not. But anyway, while I was doing that and ministering, here you go, I used to be a bouncer.
Yeah.
And you know,
The police thing, I believe.
Yes.
The bouncer, right?
Yeah. You know, I was at this kind of sports bar one evening eating dinner, and the guy there knew that I was in law enforcement at the time, and the guy who was running security for him quit that night. And he said, I said, oh, well, that stinks, man. You know, what are you going to do? And he said, you want a job? I said, sure. So I started the next night, and before it was all over with, I was kind of their head bouncer for a while. And, you know, of course, you go back to Roadhouse, right? Go back to Roadhouse. And what Roadhouse? There it was. And what was Dalton's ultimate answer?
Don't know. I've never seen the movie.
Oh, you gotta watch Roadhouse.
Since I've seen the movie.
Yeah. Be nice.
I just.
Always be nice. Yeah.
That was his answer. Be nice. And the amazing part about that was, you know, I do have training in hand-to-hand with the law enforcement. I do have training in some martial arts. And so it wasn't like the kind of thing that, no, stop. It wasn't the kind of thing that you go in, because we had young guys in there who stood in the corner and did this number. You know, they were looking for people they wanted to grab a hold of and throw out the door. That was the last thing I wanted to do. I didn't want to do any of that kind of stuff. So it actually turned out to be a great advantage, because it only happened 2 or 3 times where I actually had to, you know, throw somebody out, because generally everybody was cool. And if everybody's cool, yeah, Randy, everybody's knee snaps the same direction, right? I mean, that's just how it works. But anyway, no, it was really kind of funny, because people would say, you know, because they knew I was a minister as well, and they would say, well, what are you doing in here? And I would say, what are you doing in here? What are you doing? You stirring the pot?
Are you making ramen? Are you making ramen?
Shepherd's pie.
Shepherd's pie.
Shepherd's pie.
I just look over at Dad telling the story, and I see salt coming across the screen.
The worst bit is, it's dinner time for you guys, or tea time, or whatever you call it, right? It's breakfast time for me.
Sure.
I've just come off night shift, so I'm going to be eating dinner as well. But it's not quite normal watching people eat dinner at this time of day for me.
Yeah, and let me just tell you up front, Adam, in southern Ohio on Bar Run Farm and Forge, there is no tea time.
There is a coffee time.
There's coffee time for some, but there's no tea time. You eat
supper.
You eat meal. Yeah, supper. Yeah.
Okay, so I grew up between 2 worlds, where in Australia you've got breakfast, you've got lunch, and you've got dinner. But I also grew up where you have breakfast, you have dinner, and then you have tea or supper.
Ah.
There's like, right, yeah, so dinner can mean either lunch or it can mean the late meal of the evening. So, it's a little bit different, weird. It's an Australian thing as well.
No, and there is a debate here in the United States about whether supper is dinner or dinner is supper and all that kind of fun stuff.
What about steak and breakfast?
Always on for breakfast.
Thank you.
Yeah, I always thought dinner and supper were used interchangeably.
They are. They are. They are.
And second breakfast is necessary. You know,
Absolutely.
I'm a fatter person in my head than I am in person. Because in my head, I should be eating like 7 times a day, 7 meals a day. But in reality, I eat like once or twice a day. You know? Like, this shepherd's pie here is the only thing I've eaten today, or only thing I'll be eating today.
That's not
Just
Is it, I'm lighter than, I'm heavier than Yamas thinks I am as well, because he thinks I'm some sort of skinny little thing. I'm going to work out my weight now because I work in kilograms, you work in pounds. So I am 198 pounds.
That's it?
That's it.
You got my back with this one?
Yeah, I'll back down. That's half the million gotta stay together.
5260 pounds.
Okay, so hang on, I have to do
I think that's like, 200 stone for you.
kilograms.
That's not 200 stones.
I'm sitting right around the 260, 270
Okay,
mark.
so you're lighter than me when I was at my fattest, mate. You're only about 10 kilos. You're lighter than my best friend.
Ooh.
Now, when Eli was born, I'm 5'10". When Eli was born, I was 247 pounds.
There you go.
Yeah. I am 203 right now.
Yeah, most of that was beard weight though, wasn't it? Or was it, what's that, sympathetic baby weight?
Sure.
Isn't that an actual thing?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was eating for 2. I didn't have to, but I was eating for 2. Kelly, good to see you, man. We'll check you later. What do you weigh? 2 stone, Adam? Randy's asking about stones.
Isn't a stone 40 pounds?
I have no idea. Hang on, let me find stones. Okay, so
Yeah, I forgot what stone is.
I weigh 90 kilograms, which is 14 stone.
14 stone.
Okay.
What's
So
that?
I will now work out pounds to stone. Right, and so Yamas is what, 250 pounds? So he's 17 stone.
I call you super chonk.
Oh,
It's like, I'm not fat, I parted on the side.
No, I don't look fat, but I carry it, from looking straight down, right, I look slim. But when I turn sideways, I go like this.
so that's why we only get the straight on view of Adam. So we go.
Yeah.
I'm trying to lose the gun at the moment, so.
I've given up.
Yeah. I'm in that boat with you, Yamas.
Yeah.
It's
you
gonna
know.
be there.
Well, you're young yet, Eli. I'm pushing, I'm 37. Or 137. You guys don't know my real age. I'm 137.
He says, I'm 37, I'm not old.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, it's all downhill once you hit that point.
Hit 37?
Yeah, the body falling apart.
Man.
Like physiologically.
Oh.
And Troy's sitting in the back going,
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks a lot, buddy.
Oh yeah, in another 30 years I'll look like Troy.
You could only hope, right?
I could only hope. Oh.
Man. It is, one of the things, and I don't know who we've got, I see a few people left in on the stream and everything, but one of the things that, like I said, looking at people and making those snap decisions about people based upon maybe appearance or maybe the way they talk or where they're from or anything like that, that's a problem. And it's difficult, and I have to say, it's difficult for, and I will say, people who, like, Bob and I talked about being in law enforcement, your job is to assess people based on what you see, and it's difficult to kind of remove that when you want to try to interact with people, because like I said, yes, I'm a preacher, but I'm sure there aren't a whole lot of preachers that look like me. Kind of farm boy, scruffy,
scruffy looking.
nerf herder.
See, Troy, you're kind of the quintessential preacher for, I'd say, at least 80% of the preachers I've ever come across.
Really?
Yep.
It's
like when you say you don't look like a preacher to me, you look exactly like a preacher.
Okay. Well, cool. I guess that's good to hear. I guess.
Yeah. The only way you could look even more is if you wore black with the dog collar. I mean, like,
Yeah.
And that's Roman Catholic.
Little known topical to the conversation. Iowa Metal Forge fact is I am an ordained minister.
Well,
Technically.
technically, he said.
Is that with the amount of ships that you own?
Card carrying member and everything.
There you go.
Isn't that a thing with the armadas? If you, however many ships you own, you're allowed to be ordained to do weddings and things like that?
Well, I own 2 ships.
Yeah, the captain gets to be a minister, right?
No, I've actually performed weddings.
Yeah.
Here's an interesting one for you though, guys, because if you look it up, it's actually a tradition in Scotland called a blacksmith wedding or an anvil wedding, where certain people couldn't get married in England in the Middle Ages. So what they would do is because of ages and stuff like that, what they'd do is they'd flee across the border to Scotland. And in Scotland, as long as there were witnesses, the blacksmith could actually marry people, and he would marry them over the anvil. Right, and that's still a tradition in certain parts of Scotland now. And he'd bring the anvil at the end of the ceremony,
Okay.
as a wedding bell would be rung. So,
Yeah.
So
There you go.
just a on topic, but kind of a segue into something.
Yeah, really cool.
Rather interesting.
Matt, hilarious, man. Y'all look the same, right?
So the goal here is to find a wife that wants to get married over an anvil. No.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you can find a woman who wants to get married over an anvil, grab her.
Okay, so guys, this is my partner isn't here, so I'm going to share something, and she's never going to watch it, thankfully. But that's actually my plan. So once I actually build my new workshop, I'm actually intending, because my partner and I have been together for about 4 years, so by that stage it'll be probably about 5 or 6, but I know she wants to get married, so once I actually build my workshop, I'm actually intending on one of the christening events of my workshop will be actually saying, hey, let's get married, and then having a friend of ours who's a songbird come and marry us over my anvil and everything like that in my workshop. So that's actually kind of what I'm planning on doing.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's very cool.
So no one tell my missus, okay?
No, absolutely not. And I thank you for the assumption that she'll never watch this. That's great.
Well, look, she loves me, but she kind of tolerates my blacksmithing.
Ah.
She loves the fact that I blacksmith, but she's artsy in a different way, and she does drawing and stuff like that, and she finds metalwork completely. She comes and stands at the outside of my forge and yells at me when she wants me to come inside, or out to me, or at me, but she very rarely comes and hangs out with me in the forge.
Yeah. And that's similar here. I mean, my wife Michelle, she's a true blessing to me, but this is not her spot. She doesn't want to be out here. Every once in a while she'll come out and ask when I'm coming in for supper, and that's about the extent of what she wants to come out here for. But yeah, it's that's quite all right. Married over an anvil.
Stop right there.
We all know,
Stop right there.
We all know Y'all know my situation.
Yeah.
And I don't really talk about it a lot on my channel, and that's more because I don't want it traced back to me. There's whole things with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like I am married. I am awaiting my divorce to finalize, and the only way I'll ever, get back in the dating game or anything is if, a person of the female variety were to walk into my forge, pick up a hammer and a piece of metal and say, "Can I get in on this?"
Yeah, let's do this. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd drop what I'm doing and forge a ring right there.
There you go.
There you go. Hi, Abigail.
That's a love story.
Those of you that are left, say hello to Abby.
Hello, sister.
Hello, Abby.
Hey, Abby. Yeah, my current wife, when I told her I'd taken up blacksmithing, she asked, "What's that?" And then I showed her, and she was like, "I don't get it."
Yeah.
I had this picture of this.
No, wait, hold on a second, Adam, before you go any further. Randy, I want to make very, very clear what you just said. That is not Mrs. Roush. That is Miss Roush. That is my daughter. Mrs. Roush is Michelle. She's in the house right now. So there you go. That's my baby girl, Abigail Roush. All right, go ahead, Adam. Sorry.
You're right. I just have this picture of this petite blonde, right, swinging this massive hammer and striking for garbage. You know?
Yeah. Find her, marry her.
It could happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Howdy,
Yeah.
Fletcher.
Either that, or you find yourself a Jess for Island Metal Forge, where she she's behind the camera and does all the other artsy stuff, and
Yeah.
I can be a real. I can't be a real jerk and put up in the background a picture of my wedding.
Yeah, don't do that. I thought you were going to say, "I could be a real Roy."
I think aside from some of the quad squad, Adam's one of the few people who's actually seen a picture of the wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I got a great big red bearded Jess behind me right now, so that's
Yeah.
he's
He's
special.
knowing.
What do you say?
I didn't catch it. What happened?
What'd you say, Adam?
I said he's nowhere near as pretty.
No.
He's prettier than me, but he's nowhere near as pretty
No.
as our lovely Jess Adams.
He needs a mustache to meet that beard.
Yeah.
It does.
One of these days,
Yeah.
hopefully it'll find its way on the face.
We call him Big Amish.
Thanks, Dad. Thank you.
I was going to say, it reminds me of an Amish beard.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I have a good story for this one. All right. So during my tenure at Moorhead, we were going to. There's a place called Cookout, phenomenal. Like it's cheap, good food. So we're standing out in the front of the little. You walk up to the front window, you hang out, you order, and whatever. And most of the college kids there are just kind of standing around waiting. So this Amish family, I kid you not, horse and buggy and all, roll up to Cookout. And I don't pay any mind to it or anything. They come over. So there's this guardrail kind of right over here to the left of the checkout window. And they're leaning up against the guardrail. And somebody said, hey, kind of like knocked me and said, hey, those people are kind of looking at you funny. So I glanced over. And this older Amish gentleman, just arms crossed, looking up, down, up, down, and shakes his head at me. And I went, what have I done? And somebody said, you think it's the beard? So apparently he thought I was, like one of the people that left the Amish,
A deserter.
Yeah. And he was just giving me the stank eye. I was like, how dare you? Yeah.
Yes, there you go.
But he kept the fashion.
Yes, that's
yeah.
right. Yeah. Just so you can kind of slip in and out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Very good. Yeah. Man, oh man.
We actually don't have any. If we have an Amish community here in Australia, it's tiny, and like by tiny I mean next to non-existent. I've only ever experienced Amish through the movies. But you know, like all my knowledge of the Amish people come through movies and stuff like that because they just don't exist here. If they do, no, actually, it was a what was his name? Tim the Toolman Taylor movie.
Home Improvement?
No, the
Yeah,
movie.
it was had him in it.
What's the
Oh, I know the one you're talking
Santa
about.
Claus?
No, Tim Allen did a movie where, like, he did something with the Amish or whatever. He did a movie about the Amish.
Him and his wife had to spend like a year or something on this.
Yeah, they were
program.
witness protection. They were in witness protection in the Amish community.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And look, that's not the only reference I know to the Amish, but you know, like it's in a lot of pop culture when it comes to you know the US and some of the more interesting subcultures you guys have there. But you know, it's we just don't have them here. Like it's not a thing. We
Well,
do
no,
have
and that's the thing about the international community is it's like, you know, that is, now, my history may be way off on this because I am not in any way, shape, or form a history buff or even extremely knowledgeable about it. But from what I understand, you know, the Amish is basically, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but in a nutshell, the Amish are those, it's the remnant of those who came over here way back in the day. I believe that the Pilgrims and everything actually came over here because they believed Britain wasn't strict enough. They were more Puritan. And as the country grew and progressed and, you know, all of that stuff, the Amish maintained that more of a Puritan lifestyle.
Yeah. The Amish are essentially looking at being German Puritans.
Yeah.
And I believe they were like Lutheran. Like they were.
Yeah, they were of the Lutherans, and there was a gentleman by the name of Menno. I'm trying to think of his first name. Menno, and he gained a following, and so they referred to themselves as Mennonites. And the Amish actually split off of the Mennonites, and there was kind of an argument as to who was actually being, Anabaptist is that other part of it, Rob, is part of the Anabaptists, and then the Mennonites, and then the Amish. They're all different sects, SECTS, different groups within that group, the Anabaptist.
Yeah. And all that happened before Australia was even founded.
Correct.
Correct. The thing is, Australia was founded, and basically it's a completely different situation for why Australia was colonized, so to speak. Yeah. And so, of course, Australia, you know, really, if there's any Mennonite or Amish population there, they are in fact transplants from some, you know, it's a different, you know, America got started, like, was, I don't know, it sounds so presumptuous and ignorant, but America got colonized, and there was heavy religious reasons for that, you know, like, whereas...
You guys were colonized by free peoples. We were a prison. We were a prison.
I didn't want to flat out say that, but you know,
prison colony.
By the history imposed to me by the great Paul Hogan, you guys started out as a bunch of knife-wielding maniacs.
Well, yes, we were a prison colony.
Yeah.
It was a British prison for overcrowded. But I mean, if you think about it this way. How smart were the British? They said their worst criminals, and not some, and some of their not so worst criminals. Some of the criminals were framed, but they said their worst criminals were tropical on the other side of the world, and they stayed in the Great Lakes.
Yeah. They saved a place where you wear a trench coat and be cold all the time.
That's it. But I mean, no, it is perfectly true, and most Australians are proud of the fact that we were a prison colony. But you know, it was also Australia was discovered and then founded on the back of the American Revolution, because you guys were going through your revolution just before Australia was founded, so Britain couldn't send their prisoners or their rejects to work as slaves and whatnot in the US anymore.
Resources.
They had to send them somewhere. Right, so they discovered Australia and said, okay, well now we've got this whole continent that needs to be settled and cleared and a whole heap of work, and it's horrible, let's send the prisoners there. So, you know, Australia kind of has the fact that you guys, you know, rebelled to thank for the fact that we exist. So, you know,
There you go.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
yes, we wouldn't have existed anyway. I mean, the country was still here, just no one had found it, or only one group of people had found it. I'll clarify that, because it had been lived on for 40,000 years beforehand. But
Yeah, I mean, we're speaking conjecture concerning the, you know, natives of said, you know, everything. So
we're talking about the modern interpretation of countries as opposed to the original.
Yes. You know, not to say, you know, nobody was here. What's an Aborigine? What's a Native American? Not saying it.
No. And by the way, to Randy and Rob and all Aimless, Matt, all you guys, you're right on. All those things are correct. You're right in the money there as to explanations of those things, for sure.
Yeah, I was just with my explanation or my whatever random ramblings. You know, I was more, you know, generalizing everything. I wasn't so much saying this is how it happened. I was, you know, generalizing.
Was that an official yammering on Tinkering with Troy?
Yeah, what it was a Troy tirade. It was a yammer's yammer, right?
Yeah.
And I don't even know what it is I do. So you know.
I got the one from me.
Spear
grass stammering.
Yeah.
Grass stammering.
Ooh, spam. That sounds good.
I figured out the one for me.
What for Eli?
Just Eli's eating.
Eli eating?
Eli's always eating.
Yeah, the fat kid taking a snack.
What's eating Eli?
There you go.
What's eating Eli?
There it is. There it is. You guys nailed it right there. Eli's version is the What's Eating Eli.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, like, so to bring it back full circle where we started.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Thank you.
We have Lutherans here, but of course they're nothing like the Mennonites, they're nothing like the Amish. So you know, we don't have that culture here. And there's a lot of subcultures that exist in the US that I'm looking forward to when I eventually come over. And I brought it right back around the start. So when I eventually come over, there's a lot of communities, a lot of things that I look forward to seeing and experiencing, even for a short period whilst I'm over there. You know, I believe where's Gettysburg?
Pennsylvania, that would be too far from Hans.
Yeah. So, see, on my way through, that's one place that I'm looking forward to stopping at for the sheer history of it. You know, and maybe,
maybe if we have time and gas money, when you show up here at my place, depending on the situation, I may drive your butt down to Ocracoke, which was the home base of Blackbeard, Edward Teach Blackbeard himself.
Well, see, and that brings that Aimless is the final resting place of the Queen Anne's Revenge. So, I want to go there.
Maybe we can have Aimless. Maybe we can have Aimless meet us at Ocracoke, because I do believe that there's a ferry from his side instead of having to travel all the way up to the tip of the Outer Banks by me and then go down. Because to get to Ocracoke from me, you've got to jump. It's crazy how you got to get there. You got to go from my house, it's probably a 4 or 5 hour drive, including a ferry ride. That's about 45 minutes. You know, so you got to go down this thin strip of land. Let me try and pull up a map. I'll be like, you know,
weatherman. So yeah, but I mean, even you, Troy, like coming and seeing you and stuff like that. Like there's places I want to stop and see, not only for the history of it, but for the blacksmithing. Like my friend, a friend is coming with me. Hopefully he's still able to come with me. But you know, we're going to be stopping in New Orleans to have a drink on Bourbon Street, but also to go through the old French Quarter and actually take photos and get inspiration from all the old blacksmithing work and through the cemeteries and see. You know, you guys have some old cemeteries in the US that we don't have here. I mean, Australia was settled in 1770, or just going to 1776, and pretty much settled by 17, or started to be settled by 1790. You know, our country is only 200 years old. So, you know, like you guys go back, whereas the US, it goes back to the 15th, 16th century.
Right.
So, you know, that there's stuff that you guys have there that we just don't have here.
Right.
So, you know, I'll go see some of that stuff, and then eventually when I make it to the UK and Europe, I'll be able to go and see all the stuff as well.
Yeah, and that was one of the things that was amazing to me when we went to, I went to Scotland and England, and I went over to Paris for a short period of time, and, you know, for me, like I put my hands on Hadrian's Wall. I mean, just literally Roman era construction, and putting your hand on Roman era construction and going, okay, wait a minute. Yeah. We're not talking 100 years, we're not talking 200 years, we're talking 1,000 years. You know, we're talking more than 1,000 years. And to walk into Henry VIII's home and, you know, look at the way they constructed things and things like that. I mean, it's just absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Okay, I'm finding some good images here.
All right. Yeah. I just saw Matt's comment. That's like.
I may be completely wrong about his ferry, but okay.
He said he won't ride ferries, but he'll catch a boat.
So.
And banned from YouTube.
There you go.
Okay, because I can do this. Alright, so.
You better do it quick, because I'm getting hungry.
Here we go. Nope, that's the wrong image. There we go. Okay, so.
Is there a low pressure system coming in from the north?
That's cropped. Alright. So, yeah, pretty much in a nutshell. You've got way up here, not even on this map. This is, I believe this is Roanoke Island, which is Wanchese to the south and Manio to the north. Way up here, which you can't see in the screen, is where it connects to the mainland. And so you'd have to travel, I'm way up here on the mainland, on the main peninsula. You got to travel all the way down here and keep going all the way down to where it's brown down here on the other side of the map, on a road that looks something like this. Okay?
That looks like fun.
Yeah, and about every 10 or 15 miles or so, there's a little town with maybe, 50 people. You got Buxton, Rodanthe, all that stuff.
With incredible seafood.
Yeah, and so you've got the sound on one side and the ocean here on the other. And most of the year, you see how this road is nice and clean and clear and crisp? They must have done that to take this picture, because most of the year you can't see the road, it's covered in sand. You know?
I don't know about you guys, but that's like an awesome day.
Absolutely.
It is an awesome day.
Yeah.
But it is a full day to do it. It is a full.
Yeah.
an esky full of beer or rum or whatnot, right? A couple of drivers, take the day,
Do it.
just
Yeah.
just change it out so no one gets
I mean-
intoxicated whilst driving.
And then when you get up here, I'm going to put you in a 150 horsepower diesel tractor and cut you loose out in the field somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's
Yeah,
beach island adventure.
Yeah. See,
Tractor.
that's it. That's the biggest excitement you get around here. Drive tractors,
That's stupid.
go fishing, and things like that.
Hey, if that's the biggest excitement, I'm going to show you guys how to do donuts.
I'm getting back to the chat now. Okay, yeah, Amos will catch a boat. That'd be fun.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Now, somebody is like, due to weather. I think you said that because they said that. Fletcher said, I look like a cool middle school history teacher. Thank you. I think,
yeah.
Well, it's like in Zoom
no,
classes right now.
and if you come here, if you haven't had them yet, we will hit an oyster bar because you'll be here in September, which ends in ER, which means it's oyster season, and you get some raw oysters down the hatch. Yes.
I don't do raw oysters. I do oyster Kilpatrick, but I don't do raw oysters. I can't put it. I can't do the. It's not the flavour of them. It's the texture.
Texture, there it is.
Right. Oyster Kilpatrick I can do because they've got the bacon and stuff like that, and it helps disguise that texture. But raw oysters I can't do. Literally I go green.
As most of you know, I lived in Key West for years, so I developed I've always liked seafood. I've developed a love for seafood. I have been here in North Carolina years back. It's like hanging out on the oyster beds, in the swimming hole. You reach down, shake the water off, and grab up an oyster sugar, and then down the hatch. I've been in Key West where we'll be out at the reef, fishing for snapper, pulling up snapper, tossing them in the cooler. You can clear 200 snapper in an hour like that.
Soft shell crabbing, flounder.
Get hungry, catch one, flop him around, bonk it on the head, shut it up, start scaling it, slice it open, cut pieces off, and start eating it. It's still kicking and screaming, and you're chowing down on its muscles. That's sushi. That's whitefish sushi.
There you go. Straight up sushi. Yep. Okay, all right. Here's the deal. It is now 8, almost 15, and I would love to just hang out with you guys for another ever. And but
get that time up.
But yeah, it's 8:15, and we need to get some dinner. And you guys, man,
I need to get to bed.
yeah. I can't tell you how much, and y'all, man, thanks for jumping in, man. I appreciate you
for sure.
jumping in on the stream, and Adam, thank you so much.
The guinea pig himself.
You guys, the Aussie guinea pig right there. That's our guy, and we just appreciate everybody who's joining in on the stream. Again, we're trying to do our best to do the best we can for the community and for the channel, trying to create all that we can. We love you guys, and we look forward to tons more to do with you here on the channel, with you guys with our dear friends that are currently rubbing their chest and leaning back in their chair and all kinds of other things. We really appreciate you guys. And
yes, sir.
Yeah. Next Thursday at 7 o'clock, we won't have a live stream. We'll have a 7 o'clock premiere. And we'll be doing some blacksmithing on that as well. But we'll be here for the chat. And then that following Thursday, we'll be right back on live stream. And again, looking forward to more improvements here in the shop, more improvements in tooling and technology, just to continue to increase the channel, increase what we're doing for you guys. Last words, go to Yamez first, and then we'll go to Adam to close it out.
Last words, firing squad?
Yeah. Just
right.
blindfold and last words, that's it.
Blindfold and a cigarette, that's all I need. First off, I didn't mean to steamroll your stream. Force you to shut your forge down and all that. Thank you for having me. I know Adam really twisted y'all's arms to get me here. But
And you know, it's not a guinea victory without Yowie.
he said it's my last words. He said it's my last words. And so thank you very much for not poo-pooing the idea. It was a blast. It was, kind of a refreshing change of pace to be on somebody else's show.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. And I suppose Adam up here has his last words next, right? So I'm going to do it up here. And
Tickle.
And social distance.
He's my puppet. He's my puppet.
Thanks for having me. It's been fun. It wouldn't have been a guinea pig stream without Yowie. But no, seriously, it's been great fun. I hope you've learned or got something out of this. I hope it provided some form of entertainment. Comic relief is better than nothing. If you haven't, everyone in the chat, if you haven't already, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe button, share on your favourite social media, spread it around. And I have done some shameless promotion here, but I won't do any more. So that's pretty much it. It's time for me to. It's it's 8:15 there. It's 11:45 a.m. here. So time for me to go get something to eat and go to sleep. So thanks for having me.
Before y'all go, what is the best place to find you all? YouTube, Instagram, social medias, all that stuff, real quick.
Yamas.
Island Metal Forge. I've got a website under construction. I've got a Facebook page that I do things with occasionally. I've got an Instagram that I do things with occasionally. I've got a YouTube that I do a lot of things with here and there. And email if you've got questions. I've got answers. I moderate several Facebook groups. Most of y'all know me. And to you, Puppet.
I'm Steelgrass Forge on everything. So Facebook, I'm not overly active on. I'm more active on Instagram, YouTube, and email is also steelgrassforge@gmail. So you can find me. Just if you look up Steelgrass Forge, you'll find a way to contact me.
There you go. Eli?
Yep. So go definitely go check them out if you don't already. Which most people in the chat check you all out. But for people who watch this after the stream is streamed, definitely go check them out. We appreciate you guys tremendously. Yamas for the unexpected and surprise jumping in on the stream, which was fantastic. And Adam, obviously, appreciate you for jumping in on the stream as well, being our guinea pig for the first time. Hopefully, we will get better at the bringing people on for the live and all that fun stuff, and we'll get this on to being a regular thing. Literally never met you two besides on chats on YouTube, on everybody else's stream and our stream from time to time, and FaceTiming each other or Skype or whatever this is. Like we've always known each other. I think that's so cool about, like you guys said, like this community is so cool for that kind of stuff.
FaceTime. Someone's an Apple user.
I'm a sellout.
All right. So with that being said, I want to reiterate all those things that everybody has said. Thank you guys so much for everything, for the evening. Thank you guys that have joined in on the chat. And thank you to everybody who is a subscriber, a liker, a sharer, all those things. Look at that. Yeah, that was better. Anyway, we look forward to seeing you guys again real soon. If you have anything that you need us to do for you, we're here. You have our phone number. You have any way to get a hold of us. And again, Bar Run Forge. Check us out. Appreciate you guys. Love y'all. God bless. Take care.
Good old dirty thumbs up.
Dirty thumbs up.
Love you.
Love you.